Kindergartners, it's Mrs. Nobby coming to you for your virtual science lab from my backyard. Now remember last time that I did a video for you? We were at Addison going around the grounds looking at different plants and how they are alike and different. Well, you might recognize some of these plants. Think about where you've seen these in the science lab before. Over underneath my whiteboard, I have a grow lab, and I brought all of those plants home so that I could water them and take care of them. And we're going to use them today for our lesson. Now, before we sort out these plants and look more closely at them, we need to think about why they look different from each other. Why do they have different characteristics? Some of them have long, skinny, thick leaves, while others have wider, flat leaves that come to a point. Some have prickly parts, ouch, and some have leaves that are so thick, when we break them open, we can see that they actually store water. Now, every one of those characteristics has to do with where the plant lives. This plant has flat leaves that come to a point. Now, I know for a fact that if we found this actual plant in the rainforest, which is its natural home, that its leaves would be about this big. I've seen them myself in the rainforest. Now, they're shaped the way they are so that when the rain comes down from the sky, the water will run off the leaf. It's sort of like a gutter. It's called a drip tip. The rainforest gets over 200 inches of rain per year. Now, can you see why these plants need to have drip tips? Can you guess what kind of environment these two plants might come from? Well, first let's look at this one. This is where the leaf came from that I showed you we could squeeze the water out of. Its leaves are thick and waxy, and it stores water in its leaf. This one stores water in its stem, and it's very prickly on the top. These are called glockets, the little prickles that can stick in your fingers. Now, why do you think that a plant like that would have stickers? Now, with characteristics like being able to store water in their leaves and water in their stem, these plants must live in an environment where there's not much rain. You guessed it, they are from the desert, where there's only 10 inches or less of rainfall every year. Now, this plant is called Mother of Thousands, and to see why, you have to get a little bit closer. So if this plant was a little bit farther along, we would see little tiny plants growing on the edge of each of these leaves. They grow tiny roots and drop off and start new plants underneath. A very unique way of reproducing itself. Now, this plant also has waxy leaves that store water, so can you guess where it lives? I borrowed this sweet potato from the first grade classes. You can see that we cut a sweet potato and put it in water. It's growing a root and some shoots. Now, sweet potatoes are actually storage roots. The part that we eat grows underground and is storage for the plant. What do all of the plants have in common? Even though they have different shaped leaves, some may store water, some have prickly parts, they all need air, water, and sun to be able to make food and to live. As opposed to an animal like my dog Henry, who needs to eat for energy. He can't make his own food even though he likes to lay out in the sun all day. He can't use it for energy like a plant can. I'm going to take the plants that I have on the table and put them in groups, and I want to challenge you to see if you can figure out what trait they have in common. If we would have been together in the science lab today, we would have made one of my favorite projects to do with kindergartners called a grass head. I know it's a favorite of Mr. Singletary and Miss Maddox as well. I sure did miss them, but we thought that we would go ahead and show you how to make one, and maybe you can gather similar supplies at home. Now, Sarah, my daughter, is going to be making a grass head out of a nylon stocking. and I'm going to be making one out of a holey sock. Now we realize that you might not all have a stocking at home, so go and search for a sock that you don't mind giving up that has a few holes in it. Additional supplies that you need are a cup or a mug, some cotton balls, grass seed, water, and some decorations. So our first step to make it easier to stuff our head is to put our sock or stocking down over the cup. Now we're going to start out by putting in 1 tablespoon of grass seed. Then we're going to each count out 15 cotton balls. Now this is why I ask for so many cotton balls from Addison students. We're going to be using these to stuff the heads of our grass heads. Once you've stuffed the sock with 15 cotton balls, you can carefully take it off of the cup and push the cotton balls down in what would be the head of your grass head. You're going to want to shape it. Go ahead and tie off the bottom. Now I noticed that some of my grass seed fell out because I had a big hole, so I'm going to go ahead and just put it back in. That might happen to you also. If you don't have a sock with a hole in it, it might be best to find one that's thinning, so there are tiny little holes that the grass can grow out of. Okay, we're going to take it and put it upside down in our cup. Now all we have left to do is decorate our grass head and add a little water. Our last step is to give our grass heads water because plants need air, water, and sun. So we're going to give it at least 10 squirts of water, and you want to be able to set it on a sunny windowsill if you can, or take it outside during the day so it can get some sunshine and some water. Make sure it stays wet, and obviously it's going to get air. Now we use cotton balls today. You could use soil. Soil gets a little clumpy and hard when you make a grass head out of it, but if you don't have cotton balls, you could definitely try to use soil. So in our next video, I'm going to show you how our grass heads grew. Hopefully they will have some grass growing on the top, and yours will too. We can take it and cut it. We can make a mohawk or maybe make a ponytail. If you don't have grass seed, in your kitchen pantry, you might have some dried beans that you could plant today. Those will work just fine as seeds. So hopefully you get to plant something with us today. I hope you enjoyed our lesson about plants today, kindergartners, and why they look different from each other based on where they live, how much rainfall they get, how much sunshine they get. And I also hope that you got to plant something along with us today. I sure do miss you, kindergartners, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.